Hey Ellis Fam Lifers, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is Ellis Fam Life #Autistic Twins, and today's video is an inner circle. And inner circle is a journal / dialogue / group therapy where we talk about wishes, hopes, goals, dreams, fears, all of the feelings that we experience with raising an autistic child or an autistic loved one. I came up with this group after I just went through a period of deep loneliness, a loneliness that involves having a special needs child. I went through a really dark period where I just didn't feel very close to my friends, and through no fault of anyone, I just felt isolated and alone and not able to connect with the people that I had always normally connected with. And I realized it was because I had a big barrier, which is I have 2 special needs children. And I decided to change that and go find people like me, because that's how you make friends, is you find people that you can relate to. And I thought, if I'm having this problem, then I know there are other people out in the world having this problem. And with the age of technology that we live in, the resources that we have, it is very simple, crazy enough, it is very simple to connect with people all over the world who have the same problem or similar circumstances to our own, to our circumstances. So in any event, it became this group, and this video series became the inner circle. And so now I've got this fun group of people who we meet up every Monday, and the group watches the video and then talks about what their experiences are compared to our experience at Ellis Fam Life. So I'm very thankful for the inner circle. And welcome. If this is your first time here, this is Ellis Fam Life #Autistic Twins. And if you're an old friend, even better, because you know what it's all about. So thank you for joining us. And today's video, the topic is, what about childcare? When you have children, childcare is complicated. Childcare is complicated if you didn't have special needs children, a special needs child or children, because in most households the mom and dad both have to work, and in a lot of households it's maybe a single parent who is raising the children, or it's a grandparent that's raising the children, or an aunt or an uncle, or a foster situation or adoption or whatever. There's so many different situations out there. And because it usually takes 2 incomes to maintain a household, you normally, like in the United States, we pay a daycare to take care of our children while both parents will work, or while the caregivers work. And it's just complicated. And so in our house, it's even more so interesting, because both my mother and my husband's mother have passed away, so we don't have a lot of grandparent support. Now, we both have our fathers still living, but both of our fathers work full-time jobs. And although we get to see them on a fairly regular basis, it's not like I can call my father-in-law and say, hey, Will's got a temperature today and they're not going to let him go to school. Can I leave him with you? I more likely would have been able to do that with my mother. Now, my father-in-law, if you're watching this, I know you would call me up and say, of course you can call me. But it's just complicated. And so generally, if one of the boys is sick, if I can't get Frankie, our 18-year-old, or Steven, the 15-year-old, to maintain the house and kind of be responsible for that sick child, then me or Frank has to call into work, and one of us stays home with the sick child. And then we had, and a lot of you know that we've had the boys' older cousin living with us, she's in her early 20s. Her name is Kelsey, and we love her so much, and she is now preparing to go back to school. So as much as we have really, really had fun with her living with us, and she's been with us for 2 years, and she has been such an incredible help, but it's time for her to move on and start her own life. So As much as we love Kelsey, we know that we're not going to have her around forever, and she'll be gone in actually just a week or two and going to do really fun, cool things that she's supposed to do. So it creates a problem that it's not something that Kelsey can fix. That's not what I'm saying, but there's this growing problem that we've had in our life up until this point where we've kind of come to the conclusion that we've got to make some changes with our childcare situation because the boys are not like normal children, and they're never going to be like normal children. And yes, it's wonderful, great. I have high hopes and aspirations, and I pray daily for them, but I also have to accept reality and know that we have to continually adapt to our family needs, our family need and dynamic. And so most of you know that my husband had back surgery to remove some hardware from when he was a teenager, and his surgery was in the middle of April, and he's doing very well and recovering. And it's been a difficult decision over the past few weeks of we need to figure out what we're going to do about childcare, because it's not just a matter of having someone come in and keep the kids and paying them. You know, our boys are there's a little bit going on, and it's not going to be just, finding a babysitter and saying, hey, can we pay you to come babysit? Because my husband and I know how to meet their needs better than anybody. And it's not something that I want to burden my older teenage children with, this situation where I want them to be the main child care. I don't want it. That's not really optimal. So we are kind of winding down, and his recovery is going well to the point where we need to figure out, are we going to go back to work full time? Are we going to find someone to keep them? Are we going to, should one of us go part time? And I've been kind of dreading this decision, because if one of us does go part time, optimal, it would be me, because I have been kind of the main caregiver over the past 6 weeks, as my husband can't really lift, or he's got some activity restrictions. He's getting a lot better, but even after he goes back to work, he's still going to have some activity restrictions. And the little boys, they require a lot of physical. You have to lift them. They're not potty trained yet, so we still change diapers. And a lot of you also know that the oldest boy, who's 18, has a muscle disease. So it's not something that I want to really ask him to do on a regular basis. He's absolutely helpful as he can be, but I don't want to wear him out physically. So we have come to the decision for me to go part-time, and thankfully I have a really good boss who is also a good friend, who knows our situation and knows that we've kind of been moving towards this for the past few years, especially as we've watched the boys develop and their lack of development, and we know that basically they're almost like babies still, and they require a lot more than normal almost 5-year-olds. So I have now, it's almost settled, like there's a lot of paperwork and hoops to jump through at work, but I have moved to a part-time position at work. And I'm mixed about it, because it's very freeing to get certain tasks done that we have been needing to do for the little boys, like take them to the dentist. I know that y'all have seen that. A lot of y'all have seen our dentist story that I posted in the last few days, and that's been weighing on me for 2 years. But when we are both working full time, and we've got the older son who has medical issues, and then the other things that were going on, y'all know we had a lot going on. It weighed on me for 2 years, and I have felt guilty for 2 years for not taking them to the dentist sooner, but it wasn't life-threatening, and there were so many other things that were so much worse. So it's been such a relief to not have to be at work as much and be able to do things like make sure the boys get their dental visits in, get their dental work done, get their doctor's appointments, just all of the other things that it takes all of the other things that it requires, that are required to take care of these autistic twins and the other children. On the one side, I'm really relieved because I have a new energy for doing all of those things that we need to do for the children. And on the flip side, I'm nervous and anxious because we're not going to have as much money. So we need to be very careful with spending. And it gets a little tight around here with, 4 children, 2 grown-ups, a house to maintain, and, all the things that we deal with. I know all of you are somewhere along that same line of how much time can you spend with your child, your special needs child, versus how much time do you have to spend working in order to pay for life. I'm torn, happy and sad. I'm sad to leave my work team and not see them as much because I have a very satisfying work environment. I love my co-workers, and at the same time, I really am excited to be home with the boys and be able to spend more time with them and be able to focus on giving them the best care possible, knowing that I am the most qualified. Having given birth to them and raised them, I know them the best, and I know how to give them good care, as does my husband. And I think that it will provide a much more cohesive family dynamic, even better than it is now, for me to be home more and be able to manage the household duties and responsibilities. On the flip side, it's going to be more scary because we won't have as much money and we'll have to be really careful. So, we'll see how it goes. But I'm real curious to know, how do y'all do it? Are you the grandparent raising your child? I've talked to several of you you're raising your grandchild who is autistic. Or are you the parent and both of you work and you put your child in daycare? Do you have your child in school? And then if so, when school lets out, what do you do in the summer? Do you pay somebody to come in and keep the child or your children? And there's so many different possibilities, and I'm curious to know, do you have a family member that takes care of your children? And everybody's situation is different. So in the comments below, tell me your story. How do you do childcare? Who do you depend on, and how do you make it work? And I'm just real curious to know how y'all do it. And we have a shout out. Today's shout out is to Natalie from the Netherlands. And Natalie, I hope that I'm saying your name right, because I noticed that you split it into 2 different names, but if you put them all together, it's Natalie. And it looks like just a cool way to make your name for YouTube. I'm hoping that's what it is. But you just dove right in and became one of the group, and it was really cool. And I appreciate how much detail you give in your comments. And y'all, Natalie has a little boy who's a little bit older than the twins, who is also autistic. And she's given a lot of good advice about what's worked for her, a lot of stories, and you can tell she takes a lot of time and thoughtfully replies to almost every video. She's like she's about as verbal as Melissa and Jill and Tawaki. So y'all have made it into that top 5. But anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for posting so much. I feel like we know you really well. And I love it that Jill used to live in the Netherlands and kind of has that fun connection as well. But shout out to Natalie. I just want to say thank you and keep posting. Welcome to the inner circle. It's really fun to hear your story of all your stories of your son and how they compare to the twins. And it's a big encouragement to me when I talk to all of y'all and know that I'm not alone. And I feel like you're committed to this group and you're committed to this community, and I really appreciate that. So y'all go back, and if you have time, look through some of my comments on some of my inner circle and really all of my videos. Natalie posts comments on just about every single one, and go read some of them and see some of her cool stories, because she's got a lot of them. I think that y'all will enjoy. So I wish that I could do videos on everybody's story, because there's so many good ones. So I'll get there. One day I'll figure out how to do interviews and maybe have the time, and one can always wish. And if you enjoyed this video and you learned something or it made you think, be sure to click that thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed and you would like to see more of Ellis Fam Life, hashtag Autistic Twins, then consider subscribing to the channel. Ring the bell for notifications. That will notify you when I release videos, which is usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And if you have a good piece of advice or a good story, tell me how you do childcare. I'm really interested to know what your situation is and how you make it work. And let's see, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, comment, share this video. If you know of someone, you've run across our channel, you've seen this video, it resonates with you, or you know of that one person, that one friend that you have that is kind of floating around in a sea of, I don't know what to do, I have this special needs child and I don't know what to do, then send them over here. Share our video and let us meet them and them meet us, and maybe we can make a connection. And then the most important thing is they can join the community and not feel alone. That is the worst feeling, is feeling alone, even in a sea of people, because nobody understands. So y'all go share this video if you know of somebody who needs to know our story. And thank you all so much for watching and being a part of the inner circle. And be sure to come back every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday for more fun moments with Ellis Fam Life, hashtag Autistic Twins. As always, I look forward to next time.